Are you tired of being weighed down? Have you fallen asleep on your health? This is your wake up call with my dad, Keith, my husband, Kyle, and me, Ashley.
Good morning, everyone. It is day 180, and this is your wake up call. It is Friday, which means time for Friday Focus, where we look to a singular idea or concept, generally a quote, and we discuss that in depth. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're so glad that you're here. So, what is our focus for this Friday?
I saw this on somebody's Instagram a long time ago, and I screenshot it because it's something that resonated with me and something I've always kind of struggled with. So here it is. Food is the most abused anxiety drug, and exercise is the most underutilized antidepressant.
Amen.
Oh, that's kind of self-explanatory, isn't it?
It really is, but it's so true.
Yeah, it's 100% true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing about the food aspect of it is we require food for daily life. So food is already something we have to consume. It's not really an optional matter.
Right.
So for people who struggle with like addiction type things, imagine being addicted to a hard substance, but you have to have that substance every day to live.
Yeah.
So, you know, for people with food addictions, it poses this kind of, and that's part of the, I mean, I love that it points towards what it is. It's a coping mechanism sometimes. I can't express my frustration. I can't express my anger.
It's escapist.
Yeah, it is. It's, well, let me eat this good food. Let me eat this good food. It's time to wake up.
Sorry, y'all.
It's, let me eat this good food. And our brains are wired to send, you know, dopamine when we get certain things. And, you know, it's crazy, especially with like sugar, how the brain reacts to it. It doses you with dopamine, which is
we have to consume.
part of,
It's not really,
you know, why we get kind of hooked in on it. And
I've read and seen before that sugar has the same initial effect on our brain that like cocaine does.
yeah.
But you know, this is something, that's always been a struggle for me is I've always coped with food. I can get into like binge eating habits super easy.
Yeah.
If I let myself,
You feeling good? You feeling good? Well, let's go eat. You feeling bad?
Let's go eat.
I'm gonna eat mindlessly, just kind of put whatever in my body. Yeah. And sometimes it's just boredom, like.
And
which part of that boredom is probably,
like I said earlier,
isolation or loneliness.
It's been a mental game, and
or you're by yourself and you're alone with your thoughts, and then you just kind of start off on rabbit trails of worry and concern, and then your body's like, hey, I have to have some good feelings. Let me put some food in me so that I know I can get some good feelings out of it. So.
Yeah, it's, man, there's all kinds of research and stuff out there about certain chemicals and things that are in fast food that make them addictive and make you feel good. And, you know, we talked about sugar a few minutes ago. That's a huge one. And I keep trying to get my mind back where it was earlier this summer because I had finally, for the first time ever, stopped getting my joy from food and getting it from exercise.
And I think that's...
I enjoy getting up and walking around the neighborhood every morning. Like, it was something I'm not every single day did I want to get up and do that, but I'd gotten to where most days it was just a thing I did. And by the time I was finished, I felt better and I enjoyed it. And now I'm having a struggle to even get outside and walk to the post office. I've let a lot of that, like, self-doubt creep back in, and, like, I've been eating too much lately. So, when I read this, I was like, man, that is so true. We use food to cope, and we use food for everything, really. And it makes me glad that I've never really gotten into alcohol or drugs, because if I'm addicted to food like this, what would I be with a hard drug?
Yeah.
It's just not a good thing. And the thing that sucks about all this is that when I do start exercising again, it's going to be pretty close to like starting over. And so I'm going to have to crawl, my way back out again, claw my way back out again, and get back to a point where I enjoy exercising.
Yeah.
And that's 90% mental, I think, at least.
Yeah, and I think that's where people struggle with this, because they get this equated feeling from eating, that euphoric endorphin release of satisfaction, when they could get that from exercise. But it's easier to sit in the house and eat than it is to get out and exercise.
Yeah, it is. And I just like the taste of food. I enjoy it. It's a struggle for sure.
But then, I think you're right. Once you get the momentum rolling in the right way on exercise, then.
Well, I think what I find when I do, I've been kind of an exercise, athletic kind of person all my life.
Yeah.
And what I find, when you start the exercise, it can be just as addictive as the food.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And you start walking, I remember, I guess back in the spring, I'm going to walk a mile every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it turns into 2 miles, and then it turns into 3, and it got to where it was 8.
Yeah.
And it was, you got to kind of dial that back. So, it's a process. It's a struggle, no matter what. But I think the eating part is kind of an instant gratification thing. It's going to happen in seconds.
Yeah.
Where exercise, you're going to have to work 45 minutes or 60 minutes or whatever to start feeling, better about that. So,
right.
A lot of times you're going to choose, well, I'm going to feel better in the next 10 seconds than having to work for an hour to get that same feeling.
Yeah. Yep. It's an instant gratification thing. You're right. And it's interesting that exercise is an antidepressant in that quote, because if you are struggling with those feelings of depression, it can manifest itself in a couple different ways. Sometimes it's you don't want to eat at all. Sometimes it's you just want to do nothing but eat. Because it's one of those few, like I said, Ashley, it's one of those few things, you can get joy from, or, get enjoyment. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit of a foodie. I like Not just, I mean, I like food in general, but I like really, really, really good food too. I mean,
Yeah.
euphoric food. I can remember being in college and we had this sushi place that we would go to, and I would almost,
so good.
it was, see, it elicits that immediately in my mind because I literally would feel like I was on cloud nine walking out of that place. Because it was just super fresh, quality food. Look, for real quality food. It paid off in the sense that my mind was like, today has been a good day. You feel better about yourself and you had this kind of transcendent experience. And so I think you can get the same thing from walking or exercising. If you get in the right training, regimen for yourself.
And the two play off of each other when you start doing the right thing. Like, I ate better when I went and exercised because why am I going to mess up my exercise by eating something bad? Right? And that's I've got to get all those pieces back in because I'm slip sliding everywhere. I can eat this bad thing today. I'll get back on track tomorrow. Well, I'll do it tomorrow. I didn't walk today, so I might as well eat it all works together. And for me, I've got to do both. And once you get back rolling, it becomes a lot easier.
But I think for exercise too, you have to find a regimen that works for you because, and this is, I agree there needs to be certain elements there, but you've also got to find a way to make that an enjoyable experience. And everybody's a little different in what they find enjoyable in regards to exercise. And so, I could get out in the yard and work for 30 minutes and not think anything of it. I'd not even consider that exercise, but I'm moving, I'm bending over, I'm, pulling weeds, I'm doing this, that, and the other. I never thought I'd reach a point in my life to say, that's enjoyable, but this summer, I had these moments where I would come home after work and I would walk around the house and make sure I had some stuff, taken care of, weeded out or whatever. And it would take some time. But you can find things, that bring that. And sometimes where people are resistant to it, it's things that they don't enjoy or things that there may be just external pressure that just adds stress, which makes them, turn to kind of food to deal with it. So
I agree that you should try to find something that you enjoy. However, even if you're doing your favorite thing, say powerlifting is your thing and you're doing it every day, you're still, even if it's your favorite thing to do, you're not going to want to do it every day. Sometimes you're going to wake up and say, I don't feel like doing this today. And that's where another difference starts coming in. I enjoyed walking, but I didn't want to do it every day.
Yeah.
But you have to have something inside of you that says, even though I don't want to do this today, I need to make the choice to go out there and do it anyway. Because it's usually true that a lot of the times you don't want to start doing it. But then by the time you get to the end of your workout, you are glad that you did. And so, yes, you need to find something that works for you and something that you like doing, but you also need to know that it's not going to be a piece of cake every single time you wake up in the morning. There are going to be times when you have to make it work,
Yep.
that's just life. So, anywho, all of that to say, I like this quote because I relate to it, and I'm sure a lot of you listening can relate to that. It's food is a hard thing. It's a hard thing to deal with in your life, and so is exercise. And I'm working to try to get both back into my life because I know that they're necessary. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to Focus Friday this morning. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday, so we've almost made it to the end of the week. Hope that you have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.